everybody, it's Kathy, Crowder's Mountain, North Carolina. It's been a while, but I'm finally back, I think. And look what we have today. So I'm not gonna be taping or anything like that. I just want to show you this. This is a 1x3. So today you're gonna get all 3 of these patterns in one video. So this video may be a little bit longer, but if there's one particular pattern you want, then you could just fast forward and get to it. But I'm finally back now. All the surgery's over with, and I just have to learn to talk again. So if there's something you didn't understand me say, please just ask me in the comments and I'll explain it to you as I type it, and you can read that instead of trying to listen at me talk. Alright, so the first thing that I did was I made sure I had 12 inches in the middle, because you know when you go to the lumber company and you get wood and they cut it for you, it's not, the saw takes up some of it, and there's nothing they can do about that. It would happen if you was doing it at home, but not as bad probably. But this one was just a little bit off, not quite a foot and not quite 36 inches. So what I did, I measured, I found my center of the board and just measured out 6 inches on each side of my center. That way I knew this middle one was 12 inches exactly, and I just let the borders on these two take up the difference, because this was, you know, not exactly 12 inches. This was not exactly 12. So you get what I mean. Alright, so let's get started. Now, you could do the center one first if you wanted to, but I didn't do that. I just measured it all, and then I marked my lines here. So I knew I wasn't going to interfere with that perfect 12 inches there. So I did this one first. Now this one is just simply called Heart. Other people may have drawn this one and called it something, you know, that was dear to them, but in that book of 5,500, I think it's 5,500 patterns in 3 or 4 different places, it's just called Heart. So you could make yours like the basket weave, or you could just make it solid, either way. But we're going to do it like the basket weave. So let's get started. Okay, let me show you how I did this to get my heart centered in the middle. You know, I told you my board wasn't exactly 36. So I wanted this centered. So I have a 1-inch border around here. So this, out of 12 inch, this is 12 by 12 now. So I want this to be 10 inches square. So what I did here, to make sure it was right, I just found the center of my board, center of my square that I had here. I'm just making a tick mark here. So it's really at 6. When you put your ruler down, it will be, you make a tick mark at 6. Now see, my paper's square. I mean, it's 12 by 12 because I cut it. But your board may not be, so find the center of it. So what I did to find the center of my board, my 12 by 12, I marked at 6 inches. Alright, now what I want to do, I could find the middle that way, see? And what I want to do is put 6 inches right in the middle and I need 10 inches. I've taken 1 inch off of each side, so that left me with 10 inches to draw my heart. So I put my 6 right in the middle of my board, and I'm just gonna count out 5 over here and make a mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and count out 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that way. And I'm going to do that here as well. I got my 6 in the center of my board, and I'm counting out 5. Hope that don't aggravate y'all. Alright, now, so I'm going to make sure I'm in the middle of the board. On that 6, and I'm going to draw out 5. And then I'm going to go this way 5. Alright, now see, I'm in the middle. Put my 6 back here. And I'm going to draw up 5 inches. And draw down 5 inches. That's going to give me my 10 by 10. I'll go back in the middle here. See, I marked it by finding the middle. After I marked my board all the way around at 6 inches. And then that way I could find the middle. Now I've got my 10 by 10, see. That was way too hard. The way I explained it. Alright. So here's what we got to do now. Each one of these squares is 1 1/4. So it's 1 1/4 wide. So we're just going to lay our ruler down. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'll just do this one, and then I'll just fast forward, because you don't need to see me do it 4 times. Alright, so it's 1 1/4. And what you could do was just move your ruler. 1 1/4. 1 1/4, and then you got 1 1/4. Or to get the same results, I'm trying to get that back on the 0. You can just count 5 quarters, because that's exactly what it's going to be. So there's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, it's the same thing. So you can either move your ruler or do it that way, counting the quarters. Alright, so I'm going to do it again. Okay, so I've got my tick marks made at 1 1/4. And now all I'm going to do is connect the boxes. Alright, let me recap this, because I feel like I've got kind of confused in there. Y'all, it's been a while. I found the center of my board, and I drew out 5. I measured out 5 and made a tick mark. From here I measured out 5. From here I measured out 5. And from here I measured out 5 inches, because I wanted a 10 by 10 grid. Now, if your board is perfectly 12 by 12, you don't have to worry about that. You could just draw a 1-inch border all the way around and have 10 inches in the middle. But my board was not perfect. It was off about 1/8 of an inch or so. So I found the center of this square because I wanted my heart to be centered. Alright. So then I had my 10 inches. This is going to be an 8 square barn quilt. So I had to measure 8 into 10 and it came out 1.25. So each one of my blocks was 1 1/4. And I went all the way around making tick marks and then just connected it. So now I've got an 8 by 8 grid. Alright. Now we're just going to draw our heart. And this is going to be real simple. We're just, instead of the bottom, we're just going to start at the top. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. And at the bottom of that third one, we're going to start drawing our heart. We're going to skip 2. And at the bottom of the 6th one, it's still hard words to say, y'all. Thank y'all for putting up with me. That's all I can say. Just point. Alright, now, let's go back here at our 4th and 5th one. So on the 4th one, at the left-hand bottom, all we're going to do is draw a triangle. So that's going to be over 4, and right in that corner, we're going to draw down to the right-hand side. And so we're going to draw another diagonal line from the 5th one down and meet that one. Alright, so let's go back here now. We're on the 6th block at the bottom, and we're going to draw, we're going into this row right here each time, y'all. So it's real simple. We're drawing down that way. We're going to go over here, we're going to do the same thing on that 2nd block. So you're really drawing into that 2nd from the top block. But you got to count over up here, okay? Alright, so now we're going to go down 2. And we're going to go down 2 over here. On the right and the left. Now, you done figured out what we're going to do, right? We're going to that center. But up at the top, that's going to be the point for the heart. So it's going to be the 2nd row, 4th one over at the very bottom right. And then just connect this other one over here. And you've got your heart. Now you see how these corners are? All I did when I painted it, when I drew my lines, I'll show you that right quick because I'll forget if I don't. Alright. See that? That's just simple. You just draw your lines on out to the edges. See that? And then I painted that the same color as I did the inside for the background. Alright, now for the basket weave look, you just choose what you want to paint. Like, it's already gridded out for you. But let me show you. All I'm going to do is follow the grid lines. It's already there. That's all you got to do. You can make this one now as a 2x2 or a 3x3, but I'm doing a 1x1. So if you wanted a 2x2, all you have to do is just double the measurements. Like instead of 1 1/4 inch blocks, you would have 2.5 inch blocks. You're still going to have 10 blocks in a 24-inch quilt, like a 2x2. And you probably have a 2-inch border instead of 1. Alright, let's go back. All we're doing is following our grid lines. Alright. See, there's the first one. And then you just decide in here what colors you want. Now, you'll notice mine, I probably use like 5 like dark ones and then different colors of reds in here, and I wanted some lighter colors. I could have put a lighter one over here if I wanted to, but and I'm going to show you the colors that I used. No, it's going to get too long. I won't show you the colors, but they'll be down in the description, and I'll put, like this one will be called Heart, so I'll just list in the description of this video what colors I used for this one, okay? Because if I don't, this video is going to get way too long, and I want to give you 3 patterns at one time because I've not been here for so long. Y'all been so good to watch my videos. I hadn't videoed in it's been at least 5 or 6 weeks because of all this, and then Christmas too. But I've gained subscribers. Y'all keep subscribing and sharing, and I just thank you so much for all that. And I just feel like I hadn't been here for you because I hadn't been posting videos. So you're gonna get 3 today. Take a screenshot of this one, this pattern. Let me bring you down. Alright, take a screenshot of it. And then take a screenshot of that. Alright, there you go. So that's the first one. Let me get set up for the second one. Okay, here's our next one. Now, I don't know what the official name for this is. I've seen it on a lot of websites and different places. But it has 4 hearts here. So I guess we could say, and call it 4 hearts are better than 1, I guess. Or family. It could be family or something. Anyway, it's got 4 hearts. And that's what we're going to draw. Alright, here we go. Now again, I'm using a piece of paper so that y'all can see I can draw with these magic markers, Sharpies, and you can see my lines. Now on this particular barn quilt, we need 8 blocks. And I'm counting a border in there too. So my 8 blocks, divide 8 into 12, and I'm going to get 1.5. So I'm just marking it every 1.5 inches. What, Willow? What is it, Willow? I'm going to do that all the way around. Okay. So I went all the way around marking 1.5 inches, and now I'm just going to connect my tick marks. Alright, so we've got our 8 block grid, 8 by 8, and now we're going to start drawing our pattern. It's going to look like Christmas. I'm using green and red. Alright, now it's up to you what you want to do around your border. But on mine, I used one whole, the grid all the way around, and I used that for my border. Alright, so I'm going to start, let's start at the bottom on this one. We've got 2 that's blank, 1, 2, and on the third one, here's the trick. These blocks are 1.5 inches. I need to find the center of these blocks, these 2 blocks, so that I can draw that heart. So what I did was half of 1.5 is 3/4. So I just used my ruler and I found my 3/4 mark, and alright, and I don't have to do that. I'm trying to make sure I got you. Okay, and right here, we had to find 3/4 of this one. So, these 2 blocks, number 5 and 6, we're going to find 3/4 on this line, and this line, and measure it, put a tick mark. And then on this one and this one at the bottom, we'll put a tick mark. So now let me show you why. We need to draw the top of one of the hearts. See that? And then we're just going to use the grid mark to draw up to the top of the second one. And then we're just going to go to this one, from the top of that one to, it'll be the third one, the third, down at the bottom here, 1, 2, 3, and go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Make your tick mark there. And that's all we're doing. So you got the 4th one, it's got a diagonal line from left to right, and the 5th one a diagonal line from the top left to the bottom right. Okay, now we're going to do that all the way around. But we'll go block by block here. Now this is our border. This is that top of that heart. We're on the 3rd row, and the 3rd block is going to be divided in half, and then one, 2, 3. The 3rd one's going to be divided in half, and 4, 5, the 6th one. So it's going to go from the top left to the bottom right, bottom left to the top right. Now, part of the grid is going to be our pattern, so I'm going to draw over it so that you can see it. Alright, remember we were right here, so at the bottom of that, that's part of your pattern. And see, once you've got that, the rest of it is just almost the same thing all the way around. But we'll do it block by block, like I said. Alright, so we're back up here and we're going to draw another heart. So right here, y'all have to forgive me, it just takes me a minute to look back at what I did. Alright, and we're 5 3/4 right here. And these 3. So we're finding 3/4 of these 2 blocks, these 2 and these 2 and these 2. And we'll have 5 tick marks, just remember that. And then we're just drawing our lines and connecting them. And then this one. So don't try to draw your heart from here down there. You've got to go up and then over. See that? Make sure you draw that. Alright. Then we're gonna go up, over, and then this one's gonna be this way. Alright. So you remember that's your grid too. Let me show you what we're doing. So you see here, that's what we drew, and that's that piece here, and then we went down into the top of that next row, down, and then up, and into that, and then we drew. Okay, fit. You can't fit. We drew that part. Now we're drawing this. But these right here, when I'm drawing it and cutting it in half, is this. So this is just like a block all the way around it. So that's 1, 2, 3. So on the 6th one, that continues that block like I just talked about. See, and you've got 4 cut in half here. And that's part of that's these. These right here. Okay. Let's keep going and drawing our hearts. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2. Just because I used these colors don't mean you have to. You can switch yours up all you want to. But you're going to have your 4 hearts. Alright, so we already got that. Let's go to these 2 again. We're going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gets it in the middle. Or what I do, draw them backwards. Oh, really? I think I did, y'all. I did. I drew it backwards. It's supposed to be. Y'all probably saw me do that and laughing. I was probably just laughing all your heads off up there. There you go. It was this block I should have been drawing it in. See? It goes in there, and then down to that one. Alright, now there's your 4 hearts. They look shabby looking, don't they? Well, he's a pattern, he's not the real thing. Okay. That's what's wrong. Look. See, I went from here down here, like I said, don't do that. Alright. I'll get rid of that before I tell you to take a screenshot. But we're almost done. So you see this block in the middle? That's part of your pattern too. So we're just going to draw our green marks over it so you'll know that's part of the pattern. And then we're just going to go from corner to corner and draw this box here. That box. That's all we're going to do. And line these up now. Line them up. If you don't line them up, your pattern won't have that good crisp, sharp edges to it. There you go. Alright. So then, let me get some pencils here. And so you got, this is your border now, right? So this is going to be a color, and this one. So you got your 4 edges of your box that's around there. All right, and then you'll have this. This will be the same color as these 4. See, these will be the same color. And so then you can choose what color you want to here. I may have got mine a little bit dark and didn't have enough contrast between them. So you might want to lighten that up just a little bit, so you could see the hearts a little better. So here's your hearts, and then you just draw it. Paint on the color that you like. Wait a minute, I'm going to get rid of that line before you take a screenshot. That will mess you up. Alright, here you go. Okay, so we've got those drawn. Now, of course, here's your hearts. I'm just doing this so you can see it better. You can take a screenshot anytime. You want to roll it back and take your screenshot anytime you want to. That'll help you. Alright, now, these boxes here, they're the ones that are at the bottom of the heart. That's the one I was talking about. You might want to make it a different color than I did. But they're just the ones at the bottom. On all 4 hearts. Now, so there's your pattern really. See here, this is your border around here. And here's your pattern. And the rest of it's going to be like your background. So you can just make it white or off-white, a real pale pink, just a hint of pink in your white paint. Now, I have to tell you, when I made this, I had 6 pinks and 6 reds. You don't have to do that. I'm going to put in the description, I'll put the colors. But you can take a red and just keep lightening it up, and that can be your colors. And if you've got some white, you can put a little bit of red in it and make it pink and have different colors. Just the thing to do is make sure, even if you think you're mixing too much, make sure you have enough. Because if you're like me and you go over here painting on this one and you get paint on your hands and you come over here and it drops off your hands, or you smear it across through there and you got to do some touch-ups. Anyway, take a screenshot of this. Let me get you down there. Alright. And then take a screenshot of that one. And that's your pattern. Alright, now, so that's the second one. For the third one, it's going to be easy. Let me show you. Alright, the third one, you may have noticed it if you've been following my channel. This one is Swooney Heart. And we've already drawn it one time on a 2x2. So, like the rest of these other 2, if you wanted it on a 2x2, you just double the measurements. Because we drew that Swooney Heart on a 2x2 to start with, we're just going to half the measurements. So we're still going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're still going to have 10 blocks. So we're going to have a 10 by 10 here. So you just divide 10 into 12. And what did I come up with? I came up with 8 blocks because I put and I'm going to get y'all to take a screenshot of this because that's our pattern. I had a 1-inch border. Again, I found the center because this was the one over here on the right. I didn't know if I had a perfect 12-inch square or not. So I found the center all the way around here. Alright, then I measured it off 10 inches around here. I wanted 8 blocks, so 8 into 10 was 1 1/4. So each one of these blocks are 1 1/4. Alright, so take your screenshot of that. And then let me show you this one. Yeah, you can see this one better. This one, I've written all over it, but you can still see it here. Take a screenshot of that. And remember, your blocks, see, I doubled this border. And you don't have to. On the other one that I did here, I didn't double it, remember. So I still needed 8 blocks in the center. So use this pattern for your Swooney Heart. Except for that. That's supposed to be white. See, that's white. And when I drew it in, I drew it in wrong. I did the same way with this one. I drew that in when I wasn't supposed to. Alright, take a screenshot of that one too if you wanted to. So this is a 2x2. But if you want to see how to draw it out, just go to that other video. It was last year's video. Last Valentine. And I put the link up, but I don't know how to do that. I've tried to figure it out. Alright, and here's this one. If that helps you. Okay. And here's the one that's got the 1 1/4 inch. I don't know if you can see it very well or not. This is the one I did to practice. Okay. And there you have it. And I just want to thank you all again for being patient and kind, and thank you for all the comments and the prayers and well wishes, and for just hanging in there with me. And I think I'll try to do, I don't know that I'll do another Valentine. Since you've got 3 right here, you may not need another one. But I think the next one, I've got 2 coming up that people have asked me for. One of them is a fox, and then the other one is a butterfly. Now I've had one butterfly on my channel already, but this one is painting just a little bit different. And I'll try to find if it's in that book of 5,000, I'll try to find it in that and give you the numbers. So, let me show you what I'm doing with this one. Because you'll notice, a lot of times you see these porch leaners, and they'll be vertical. Now, I've done mine horizontally, and let me show you why. So I'm always struggling to decorate this bench. And I thought about, as I was painting this, I could put it out here. It's not a porch leaner, it'll just be the back of the bench. Now I could hang it, or I could have made it 4 feet. Just according to the size of the bench. We're going to call this the barn quilt bench. Bench leaner. Barn quilt bench leaner. Now say that with all this mess going on in my mouth.